Hi everyone, this is Wendy. I'm on to show you my my journal I've just finished making. It was my first, what will I call it, vintage grunge one, something like that. This one has taken me a while to do because I really had to try and get my mind around not putting anything really bright in it. So it measures, and I haven't got my ruler in here, but it's alright, I've got my ruler. So it measures 9.5 by 6, so it's rather a large cover. I have repurposed an old textbook for the cover, so the cover's rather hard, and I had some of this fabric that I was given, and I had this little offcut left because I have made another journal with the other piece of fabric that I had, and I've just put some Velcro just on here so that it holds the book closed. And if you do add anything else in it, like the Velcro can move down so that you've still got quite a bit of room for that book to open up if you still want to keep the closure on it. So, and this, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's like a furniture fabric, this one, but it's pretty cool. And I have zigzagged all around the edges and just frayed them a little bit just to give it a little bit more interest, so that was pretty cool. Okay, so on the cover, the original cover is this brown colour, and I've just gone and put some bronze streaks over the front and the back, and then I've gone and given it a sand down so that it looks a little bit more worn. And I have a strip of crocheted, it was like a large doily, crocheted doily. I've put a strip of that, and I've also coffee dyed that as well, and it's got 2 signatures and they're sewn in the side here with the pamphlet stitch. Okay, so let's have a look inside. I keep thinking, oh, I could add this to it and I can add this to it, but I've just kind of like stopped now. I have reinforced the spine with a piece of like chipboard. I've also put some sticker text down on the spine as well, and just a little bit out to the sides underneath this paper. So if you don't know what sticker text is, it's like an adhesive fabric, and you can get this one here I got from Spotlight up at Burleigh, where I live, and it's 100% cotton adhesive fabric. I just got the light coloured because I thought I could use that a lot more in the journals, to put on the spines and just for some other things. And it's really pretty cool to use. This is just an offcut, and I'll just show you what it's like. You pull it off the backing, and it's like a fabric that has got a sticky back on it, so it's pretty cool. So with the offcuts, I've got a couple of bits of offcuts just from doing this book and another one, and I thought with the offcuts I could sew around them and stamp on them, so that then you could just rip it off and put it on other embellishments or pockets. So that's what I've used on here. And it just says, add fabric to any craft product with ease, no glue required, cut desired shapes from sticker text prior to removing backing. When I was up there looking for the sticker text, it had ones that had all these really pretty coloured patterns and everything on, but I thought I would just get more use out of this bone coloured one. So that's the sticker text. Okay, back to my journal. And we got a noisy car. Okay, so on here, the inside, it did have some writing on it and it was pretty marked, so I've just put down a coffee dyed paper. And this image, I think I received it from Sonya Stepto in one of the parcels that I brought. It was either Sonya, I'm pretty sure it was Sonya. If not, I apologise to whoever sent that to me. But that's what I'm remembering anyway. And I've done some layering up here with some more coffee dyed paper and some text paper. And then this fabric, it is like a tulle that has a lovely pattern on it. I've kind of like used that all the way throughout the journal just to decorate it a little bit more. So we turn the page and I have just some just a couple of journaling cards up here in the corner that I have stamped on, and I have some of that lace, which is, it's so pretty. It's not lace, it's tulle. It's like a a tulle that's got a decorative pattern on it, and a little pale pink ribbon, and then just a little sentiment that says don't be afraid to sparkle, and I've got that all together on one of those bulb pins. Okay, and I've got a little bit of stamping done throughout on the pages, and this one here is a little tuck spot there, and made another little tag pocket where you can write on the back of the pocket, and then inside just another little tag that has paper napkin on it, a printed paper napkin, and textbook paper with some sewing on it, and you can journal on the back. And then another little tag here that I purchased from Bonny and Clive in one of her, I think it's from her stamp kit that she has on her Etsy, and you can also journal on the back there with a little bit more of that tulle up there. So, and I do have that held on with just one of my altered paper clips, but I took it off just so that I could flip this one out and show you. So this is an envelope and been decorated with some tulle and a bit of fabric down here, and one of Bonnie's stamps or postcards, and that opens up, and I've just put a little tag in it that you can decorate, just some text paper on this side, and then I've just held that all on together with just the paper clip there. And another little collage down here, happiness is homemade. Then up here a little top tuck spot, what sunshine is to flowers, smiles are to humanity. And that's a quote from Joseph Addison. And then I have this little tag or journaling card, been backed with coffee dyed paper. The reason I made this journal was because the papers in here, the coffee dyed papers, they got really dark and marked. I'll show you when I come to them. And I was actually going to toss them out, and I thought, oh no, I just can't. I'm just going to have to use them. So that's why I thought of putting together like a vintage grunge type of journal. And this one here is one of the Vellum pages that I made. They just turned out so cool. I just really loved them. And then over here I've made another pocket, and it's got a postcard with some coffee dyed paper on the back which fits in behind it. And then in this pocket here I've made one of the window tags and just put this image in. That just pops into that pocket there. And then this one here, the image, I've actually laminated it and stitched around the outsides, and that was sent to me from Amanda Scott Burton. So, okay, so we're coming up to the papers which I was telling you about, and I'm not sure if you're going to see it properly, but you see these little black spots and black marks? When I was dyeing the papers, they just seemed to come out of the paper. I didn't have do anything different from what I normally do. So I'm just thinking maybe that was in the paper to start with. Okay, so over here I've made a side pocket or side tuck spot and just made a couple of little tags to go in there. There's another mark that came out of the paper. I'll show you this one. You should be able to see that one just there. So it happened on quite a few of the papers that I dyed. Not sure why. And up here I've just got a little bit of trim, some cotton lace trim, and then on this side here I've got that held down with just a little paper clip. I have a piece of that tulle that has that really pretty decorative pattern on it, and up the top here just another little piece of trim, and you lift that up, and this part here is a little tuck spot or pocket to hold these two cards or tags. And then this one here is actually a flip out, so you can journal here, or you can just flip it over and journal down here. I tried to make it as interactive as I could. And the tabs here on some of the pages, I received those from JBMC on YouTube, so that was from Joan. Thank you, Joan. And then over here I've just put a coffee dyed mat down and another couple of Bonnie's little postcard stamp things, and it's got a bit of washi tape down the side because this paper is pretty brittle, and the edges, the side of the paper started to tear a little bit, so I thought I'll just reinforce that with some of that washi tape. And then over here I have another, this is a candy bag from Bonny and Clive, which looked like that. You can buy these from Bonnie's Etsy store, and I've just adhered that down there, and then just done another little collage down here with some paper, some textbook paper and some of that tulle, and then another one of the little postcard, or I'm not really sure, stamp collection things from Bonny and Clive. So that goes in there. And over here I've just got a bit of lace here as a side tuck, and made this into a journaling card. This ephemera, I think I got that from Sonya Stepto. I hope I'm remembering this rightly. And I just hold that in up there with that altered paper clip. This is just an altered paper clip that I made, and it's just from one of my stamps on some craft paper, and I've stitched around the outside. And you can see here the stitching where I've put the bit of lace on down there. And I've got a paper bag, and I've just put an index card in it, which is so cool. I love the way that has been coffee stained. And just a bit of crocheted trim and ribbon down the side of that. And I've got some washi tape down here. So this is the centre of the first signature, and this is some, I think it's the Tim Holtz tissue paper, and I received that from Mixedmediacrafttime on YouTube. So I've just put that down there and done a bit more stamping. And over this side I've got some washi here, and that's one of those paper pleats that I made, and just put a bit of burlap and lace down here and turned that into a pocket. And in this pocket I've got another coffee dyed index card and just another couple of bits of ephemera from Bonny and Clive that I've backed onto some manila folder. And then over here just another decoration with the collage of the coffee dyed paper and textbook paper and some of that tulle. And in this pocket of the brown bag I have one of my little flip up tags and pockets, and that says today is a special day, and that's the tag which just sits in there, and the front of it's just a collage of some music sheet paper and coffee dyed paper and a little bit of that tulle, and this saying says love makes everything grow. So that goes in there. And then this is like graph paper, and I've just stitched on some lace down the side. There is another piece of that tissue paper from Mixedmediacrafttime, and over this page here, that's the other, I think you've seen how I made the vellum pages. So that's just another one of the vellums where the vellum page where I've ripped around there and put the vellum in between the two pages. And down here I've just made a little journaling mat, and I have some cheesecloth. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that just comes straight out, cheesecloth. I usually have so much trouble trying to remember what it's called. And this little image of this vintage lady there. And then on this side I have made a pocket, and I have a napkin on the front of it, and down here there's always a reason to smile, and just made another little tag to go in there. It's another one of the tabs from Joan, and some stamping, and this here is just a ripped bit of washi tape. Now this envelope here with the pocket, this was inspired by ShabbyDabbydodah here on YouTube, and I received one of her journals in the mail that I had won, and she had this style of envelope in her journal, and I just thought it was so lovely where the ribbon or the lace is underneath this flap that's glued down, and I haven't put a card in there yet. I have forgotten, okay, but I'll get round to doing that. And then that just flips down, and I've put a pocket on the front here and just put another one of these little pockets that I need another card for. Oh well, I knew it wasn't finished yet, and now I know why, because I need to put a few more journaling tags or cards in it. And this just gets tied up in a bow like that, and it's got a little pop of colour here with these little girls playing with their skipping rope. And then I've got some more washi up the top there, and some sewn on lace down the side here, and just some more ripped washi tape. These washi tapes, they're about about 3 inches wide, and it's good just to like rip parts of it off and use it. So that's what I've done. And then another mat over here where you can journal over the text paper, and just a little embellishment up the top that you can actually use for a tuck spot, a little banner and a rosette. Now over here I have put a row of the cotton lace down here, or trim, whatever it's called. I picked this one up from one of our op shops, and I just really love it. It's so cool. And I've put a journaling mat, a small one, down here, and this little top embellishment, you can actually lift this all the way out, and you've got extra journaling spots there and there, or you can use it for like a little secret message, something that you don't want people to share, and that just folds back up there. Okay, so we got that. See this paper here? That just turned out so dark, and I'm not sure if you can see the marks on it or not, but it's got like little spotty marks everywhere. So I think it's good to use that paper for a vintage grunge journal. Okay, and down here I have made a corner tuck spot and just put another index card in there for journaling. It's got some cheesecloth and a really pale pink doily there, and a little bit of crocheted trim, and a picture of this lady here. And this is the end of the first signature, and I've used one of the paper pleats here as just a little bottom tuck spot. I've got some washi tape down the side, and this is one of the bags that I've decorated from Bonny and Clive, from her candy bags, and I've just made another little journaling card to pop in there. So that one just sits back in there just nicely. Okay, so now the second signature. This is just another journaling card with some butterflies on it, and this part here is, I've ripped that from a sewing pattern and just glued that down there. So if you didn't want that there, you could just rip out another bit of coffee dyed paper and glue it down to have for another journaling mat. And I've got a ripped pocket down here that has also been sewn around the edges. A little bit of that tulle and an offcut of the trim lace, like over here. That was a bit too long there, so I've cut that off and just popped it down there in the corner. Okay, and over here another collage piece with some music sheet paper and some of that tulle. Now this was the long vellum page, and I had this strip of coffee dyed paper, so I've glued that down there and just put a trim, glued down this crocheted trim there just to add a bit of interest in the page. And the stitching here is where I've stitched a little fold on to join the two pages so that you can have them upright instead of having them sideways in your journal. And over here I've got another little corner pocket down there with a little bit of crocheted trim and cotton lace and cheesecloth with a picture, and I've made this little booklet to go in there with just some coffee dyed papers, and I've just got that booklet held together with an altered paper clip just so that it doesn't keep flapping open. And down here, this side of the page, you can tell here it was ripping just a little bit and it just felt a bit brittle, so I've glued on just one of Bonny and Clive's paper band-aids down here. I've got some more washi tape and some more stamping, and on this side I have another one of those envelopes that has a large journaling tag in it, and here I've just matted up another journaling spot and that says journey there, and I just hold that down with a little paper clip. And this paper clip was actually sent to me from Stormy, who is Stormy's Imagination, or I'll look it up. I actually can't remember what her YouTube channel is. And then on this side from the pocket I've made another little tuck spot with an index card, and on the back of the index card is just some paper that has been stamped on and inked, and that just sits in there. Some more tabs, and over here I've made another journaling mat, and you might be able to see it on this paper here. I'll try and get just down here, like the paper looks pretty grungy. Let me see if I can just hang on, if I can bring it up more under there. You see those marks on the paper down here? Yeah, so I really don't know where they came from, and I didn't have anything sitting on top of the papers. I'm just thinking maybe it's come from the paper. I'm not really sure. Okay, so I've got some washi tape here, and then just made another little dangle with some of that tulle and a couple of Bonny and Clive's stamp tags, and that's just held on with an eyelet through the page and a bulb pin. And then on this side, this is one of my handmade envelopes with the textbook pages and the patterned napkin on the top, and that just holds this card, Adventure with You. So that just goes in there. And then this one says, we are shaped and fashioned by what we love, and that's a quote from Gothy, something like that. Okay, so over here I've just got another little paper collage, and oh, here we go, look at this. Look at the marks that came out in that paper. Oh, there you go, now you can see it. So when that happened with the paper, and then I thought I really don't want to just throw it away, I thought, okay, the best thing to do with it is to make it into a grunge journal. So I hope I'm really hoping that my thought process for putting this together is grunge. Like, I'm not really sure. This is the first vintage grunge that I've done, so please let me know if I was on the right track or whether I should just chuck the whole journal out. Okay, so up here I've got another altered paper clip, and that's just holding on this journaling card that I've had in my stash for quite a while. I thought, okay, time to use it, put it in a journal. And this is some graph paper with some stamping on it. And this is another one of my Vellum Pages. Just really, and I love the sound it makes too. Okay. And this is the center of the second signature, where I've used some washi tape on the top and the bottom edge and just put some pattern napkin down on either corner, so you've still got plenty of space to journal in there. And here I've just got another piece of that cotton trim down there and another journaling mat, and it's got some sewing pattern paper underneath there. And here's another journaling mat, and just here I've put a little envelope. Now, if I remember rightly, I received this envelope from Roz Willoughby. I've had I've had a couple of these envelopes in my stash for a while too, and that's just holding a little piece of ephemera that you can journal on there. So that just sits in there, and the other side of that graph paper, and another corner tuck spot down there with this nice big journaling card. This one, I make these from manila folders, and this one here has got a piece of what is that? Oh, that was I had printed something out and I never ever got round to using it, so I've ripped a piece off of it there and just glued it onto the piece of card. And then this piece here is from a pattern napkin, and a little bit of crocheted lace up the top. This is just a little offcut from one of those little pictures. Those pictures had like little roses around the boxes of the ladies, and I thought, oh, that looks pretty cool, just put it there for a bit of decoration. And this page here is one of those folded pockets that I learnt how to make from Amy, who is Owl John here on YouTube, and it's got some journaling cards in it. I've just made it into a 3 pocket, so that's 1, 2, 3 there, and I've glued the whole lot down because I have this piece of that tulle glued down to the page as well. Looks so pretty, this one. I really like that, how that turned out. Okay, and then we've got some more journaling space and another little collage here. Some more journaling space. And here I have a big envelope, and I've left it open at the back for a pocket, and I've made another envelope with a little booklet in it, just from some off-cut pieces of paper. So you've got another little, like a mini memo book in there, or journaling book. So that goes into that, and that just slips down there, and then that goes back into behind this envelope. And this, I've got some of this vintage lace on there, and inside the big envelope I've got a booklet, but I've just got a bit of collaging on the front there. And this is a large index card that I've stitched around, and then just a few of the off-cut papers just stitched down the side here, made into another little memo book. And then that just fits nicely into there, and we fold that over and just tie that up. And the inspiration from this is the same from ShabbyDabbydodah, who is it Tony? I'm not sure now. Okay, but I will leave all the people's links down below that I've mentioned in this video. Hopefully I do anyway. There was a few to remember, and that's just another journaling mat there. And then over here I have another altered paper clip, and I've left the back of them plain, so you could even use that for a little journaling spot too if you wanted. So I'll just slip that onto that page. And this here is one of the paper CDs, CD covers, you know, the paper ones. And I've just done a little bit of collaging on the front of it, and put one of those images there and a couple of rosettes. And I have coffee dyed these too. And then inside I've just made this little journaling card with some napkin on the front that you can still write on if you wanted to write over the napkin. And that one there, this was one of the large index cards cut in half. So that just goes back in there, so you can still see the image through the window at the front, and just tuck that up in there. And then the last page I've put some washi tape here, and then on the very last page I just have a decorated candy bag from Bonny and Clive with an coffee dyed index card with a little bit of music sheet paper on it, and just a little satiny tab up the top. Okay, and then the back page is more or less the same as the front. I have just glued down a coffee dyed paper. Looks so cool, and that's it. Wow. I don't know how long this has taken, but that's my vintage, what am I calling it, vintage grunge journal. So I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. I did have a hard time thinking, oh, what am I going to do with those papers? And then I thought, oh, I could always make it like a grungy journal. Not sure if I, you know, could have added a few more grungy things in it or not, but I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So there it is, guys. And no, I think I did okay. I really loved the cover. I loved the little bit of bronze that I've put on here and then sanded back, so that turned out pretty cool. And it's a nice sturdy cover too, so Yeah, and I enjoyed using that that sticker text too. That was pretty cool. It's not bad, that stuff, because I know it's really going to secure the spines as well. Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks for hanging around and having a look at one of my new journal that I've just finished. I've got a few more videos coming up soon, so I shall see you then. Okay, you all have a great day. Bye bye.